أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين يا رب العالمين. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the blessings, peace be upon Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his household, his companions, and all those who follow him until the day of judgment. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Today, inshallah, we'll talk about, or we'll continue to talk about the fasting in the Hanafi madhab with the Imam Hassan al-Shurumbulali rahimahullah from his book Nur al-Idah. We are on the fasl فيما يثبت به الهلال وفي صوم الشك وغيره, which means citing the moon and fasting on the day of doubt. ثبوت هلال Ramadan, establishing the moon of Ramadan. Imam said rahimahullah, يثبت رمضان برؤية هلاله أو بعد شعبان 30 إن غم الهلال, which means Ramadan is established when the moon is sighted. And if the moon is not visible for some reason, the people are to complete the Sha'ban, the month of Sha'ban, as 30 days and then begin fasting. And that is said according to the hadith of Prophet ﷺ. He said, "Sumu li ru'yatihi wa aftiru li ru'yatihi. فإن غم عليكم فأعدوا شعبان 30 يوما." Fast when you see it, when you see the hilal, when you see the moon, and break your fast when you see it. And if the weather is cloudy or there is clouds, calculate, which means the month of Sha'ban, as 30 days. So we can say that lunar month consists of either 29 days or 30 days. If the sky is clear, the people begin and end fasting with the sighting of the new moon. And if the sky is overcast, then they have been instructed by beloved Prophet ﷺ to complete 30 days of Sha'ban and thereafter begin the fasting. We can say this is in these days we are supposed to go out of the doubt and the shak, because calculation, following the astronomical calculation, is there. We know the beginning of the month of Ramadan, we know the end, so there is no need to be in doubt and to be in disagreement amongst us. And then Imam said, يوم الشك وصوم, the day of doubt and uncertainty. So when there is this day specifically subject, we don't have this today, because we know beginning of the Ramadan, as I mentioned, and beginning and end. So there is no need, we don't have day of shak, except the people who are doubtful about themselves, and they are just not listening to the teachings of our scholars. So look at this. So what he says, the day of doubt, uncertainty. الإمام says ويوم الشك هو ما يلي 29 من شعبان وقد استوى فيه طرف العلم والجهل بأن غم الهلال. The day of doubt is the day after the 29th day of the month of Sha'ban. Due to overcast conditions that have concealed the moon on this doubtful day, there is no equal measure of knowledge or ignorance with respect to the reality of the situation. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen ala ni'mat al-Islam. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are blessed with all this technology and calculation. We are done with this subject completely. No need to discuss, we just obey, and we know beginning and the end. Just those who are hard-headed, they don't think. So they are fasting in the same city different days, and when there is the Eid, they celebrate with different days because of misunderstanding. And may God guide all of us. ثم قال الإمام وكره فيه كل صوم إلا صوم النفل جزم به بلا ترديد بنيته وبين الصوم الآخر بينه وبين الصوم الآخر. Which means basically it is dislike to fast during this day, the day of doubt, except a voluntary fast that one is firm about with no varying, there is no he's firm in his intention between it and between the other fasts. So if you are not sure, then you're not supposed to fast. But because we don't have this day of shak, so the intention of the voluntary fast must be firm with no wavering or hesitation, that we can say. Because the Prophet ﷺ said the day of doubt is not to be performed as a fast on the belief that it is Ramadan. Rather, it is observed as a voluntary fast. وإن ظهر أنه من رمضان أجزأ عنه ما صامه. If it appears that this day is from Ramadan, the day of shak, the day of doubt, then one's voluntary fast suffice for that of Ramadan. It will be counted as Ramadan. In other words, what one fasted is valid for that of Ramadan. So, but because in these days we don't have day of shak, we don't. That is why it's makruh to fast the day of shak, day or 2 days before month of Ramadan. It was makruh, but today is not, because we know exactly when Ramadan begins, when ends. So there is no way to have this kind of shak. So we are free of that. ثم قال وإن ردد فيه بين الصيام وفطر لا يكون صائما. If one is hesitant upon the day of doubt between fasting and breaking fast, then he is ruled as not fasting. So if you have doubt inside of your intention is not firm, then you are not fasting. Such as the saying, for example, if it's Ramadan, then I'm fasting, and if it's not, then I'm not fasting. So you're not fasting actually. And the reason one is ruled as not fasting is because he is not deceived he's not firm in his intention. And if if later appears that the day is from Ramadan, then one is required to make it up. So if it's the day of shak, day of doubt, and you're not fasting, you're here and there, I'll fast, I'll not fast, so you're not fasting. If it confirmed that it was Ramadan, then you are obliged to make that day up. And then Imam says here, وَكَرِهَ صَوْمُ يَوْمٍ أَوْ يَوْمَيْنِ مِنْ آخِرِ شَعْبَانِ لَا يَكْرَهُ مَا فَوْقَهُمَا. So here is what he said, which means it is dislike, makruh, to fast day or 2 days at the end of the month of Sha'ban, day or 1 or 2 days. Though it is not dislike to fast more than 2 days. So if 4, 5, 6, 7, or 1 week before, that's okay. Even those 2 days, this mas'ala or this rule, it's moved because we are not in the day of shak. We know beginning of the Ramadan, so you go ahead fast. No, nothing is wrong with that. No makruh. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ said, so he wants to make sure, don't fast for a day or 2 ahead of Ramadan, except a person who is in that habit of observing a particular fast, and he has fasted on that day. So this same thing as we mentioned before in the third or second or first part, that not to fast, because if somebody is not habit to fast, then for that person it is makruh to fast day or 2 days before Ramadan. But if person is fasting every Monday and Thursday, and then for some reason day before is for example Monday or Thursday, that's fasting, and tomorrow is or after tomorrow is Ramadan, and that's okay for that person because it's habit to fast. But if somebody is new, just starting, so it is dislike for that person. That why? Because the consequences, it may affect his body, become weak, weakness, or could happen something, and then he will not be able to fast the Ramadan. So that is curious. Question is not like I want to do it on my own, because must be prepared mentally and physically for that. And then he said رحمه الله ويأمر المفتي العامة بالتلم يوم الشك ثم الإفطار إذا ذهب وقت النية ولم يبين الحال. On the day of doubt, the shak, the mufti, see here, mufti, responsible person in city, mufti or qadi or imam, orders the people to wait without the intention of fasting. Okay, just wait, don't fast until we make sure it is not Ramadan, it is the beginning of Ramadan or so. Afterwards, when the time for intention expires and the day did not appear as that of Ramadan, then again mufti orders the people to break their fast. So there is a rule we have to respect. That's why the scholars are those who are announcing, or the imam or qadi used to do. Today everybody is mufti, yeah. ويصوم فيه المفتي والقاضي ومن كاد من الخواص وهو من يتمكن من ضبط نفسه عن الترديد في نيته وملاحظة كونه عن الفرض. So then the mufti, again, judge, the qadi and the elite are to fast during this day of doubt as a voluntary fast, not as a Ramadan, as voluntary fast. And the elite are those who are able to control themselves, those who know the rules and regulations, those who are firm in their intention and able to differentiate between voluntary fast and the obligatory one. Those are allowed to fast. So again, coming back to the imam and the qadi and the mufti. And then Imam says, وَحُكْمُ مَنْ رَأَى هِلَالَ رَمَضَانَ. Again, the whole this chapter, I will say one word on the end of it. So, حُكْمُ مَنْ رَأَى هِلَالَ رَمَضَانَ. The ruling upon one who sights the moon of Ramadan. قال الإمام رحمه الله وما رأى هلال رمضان أو الفطر وحده ورد قوله لزمه الصيام ولا يجوز له الفطر بتيقنه هلال الشوال, which means whoever sees the moon of Ramadan alone, yet his statement is rejected by the judge, by the qadi, is not accepted, he is that person who saw the moon is required to fast on his own. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whosoever witnessed the moon, the moon of the month of Ramadan must fast. Though if one sees the moon, for example, of the Eid al-Fitr alone, and his statement is rejected by Qadi, he is not permitted to break his fast, even if he is sure he has seen the moon of Shawwal. So this is according to the unity, important of the unity. You, even if you see it, you're not allowed to break, because the unity, if you do it, you create fitna, and creating fitna is big issue. Al-fitna tu ashaddu min al-qatl. The fitna, whoever creates the fitna between the people, disagreement, wakes up the fitna, the mischief in the community, in this case between the Muslims, oh, I'm fasting, oh, I'm not fast. So that is fitna, and it is danger when you create it, and the result and consequences is great as well. So it is important for that person to know, if you see it, you're not allowed to do it by yourself. You are continue to fast as the rest of the people. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. ثبوت الهلال إذا كان بالسماء علة. Verification of the moon if there is an obstruction in the sky, so there is cloudy or you cannot see the moon. قال الإمام وإذا كان بالسماء علة من غم أو غبار أو نحوه قبل خبر واحد عدل أو مستور في الصحيح يقبل خبره لو شهد على شهادة واحدة مثله يقبل خبره ولو كان أنثى أو رقيقا أو محدودا يعني أقيم عليه حد في قذف تاب ثم تاب هذا شخص لرمضان ولا يشترط لفظ الشهادة ولا الدعوة كعتق الأمة وطلاق الزوجة. Which means basically if there is an obstruction in the sky, such as clouds or dust or any kind of prevention, the Imam is to accept the testimony of a single upright witness. And this upright witness here, Adl, means that person is well known by his doing good deeds, more good deeds than the bad ones. And he does not commit major sins publicly. So that is upright witness. Or one whose situation is unknown. And this is the correct view in the madhab, in the school. And the Imam is also to accept the news of the sighting, even if someone else of similar status to the witness testifies based on what the witness told him. So the one person informing the other one, and that the second one informs the Qadi or Imam, so it is accepted as well. For example, an upright person named, let's say, A, sees the moon. Then he informs another upright person, B, about what he saw. So the person B then goes to the judge and Imam and informs him that the person A witnessed the moon. And this is accepted as well. So that's how it goes. And the testimony of the single upright witness or one whose situation is unknown is accepted, even if such a person is female, slave, raqiq, or one of who has repented after being punished for the accusation orders of sexual acts. And it is not conditioned for such a person to utter the words of the shahada as well. So as long as he repented from the major sins, it's accepted. وشروط الهلال الفطر إذا كان بالسماع علة لفظ الشهادة من حرين أو حر وحرتين بلا دعوة. So if the sky is obstructed for Eid al-Fitr, so there is a cloud or dust or something, some kind of prevention, we cannot see the moon, the Eid al-Fitr, the first Shawwal, it is conditional for the Imam to have the testimony from two free men or from one free man and two free women. And it is conditional that they say the words of the Shahada, so that they inform about what they witness, such as the I bear witness. So that is Shahada. Though they are not to be subject to legal proceeding or commission. So they will not go like in front of the judges, like somebody's committing some kind of the crime in front of, not something like that, but at least to inform what they saw. And then ثبوت الهلال إذا لم يكون بالسماء العلة. Verification of the moon if there is no obstruction in the sky, there is nothing. وإذا لم يكن بالسماء علة فلا بد من جمع عظيم من رمضان والفطر ومقدار الجمع العظيم مفوض لرأي الإمام في الأصح. So if there is, which means if there is no obstruction, no prevention in the sky for the month of Ramadan or Eid al-Fitr, then the testimony of a large gathering is required. So everything is clear, sky is clear, no clouds, no dust. So then there is need to be a large gathering is required in this condition. And Imam Yusuf, which is the student of Imam Hanifa rahimahullah, alayhim jami'an, he says 50 people are considered as being a large gathering, 50 people. In some cities, they said 500, or in the city of the Bukhara, 1,000 on that time. So depend of the uh, uh, how much the city, how big is city. So then the imam determines what number is great number. However, the determination of the large gathering is entrusted to the opinion of the imam, which means that imam, while determining what a large gathering is, and this is the correct view in the madhab. وإذا تم العدد بشهادة فرد ولم يرى هلال الفطر والسماء مسيحة لا يحل الفطر. If the people begin Ramadan based on the testimony of a single person, and then they complete 30 days of fasting, and thereafter no one sees the moon of Eid al-Fitr, even though the sky is clear, it is not permit for them to cease fasting. Okay, which is madhab, which is the opinion in the madhab. And that means that the person who first witnessed the moon of Ramadan was mistaken, and that it was not Ramadan, hence they are to fast this day. واختلف الترجيح فيما إذا كان بشهادة عدلين ولا خلاف في الحل الفطر إذا كان بالسماع علة ولو ثبت رمضان بشهادة الفرد. Scholars differed in that if Ramadan is established based on the witnessing of two upright person, an upright person, as we mentioned, is good person who is well known by committing good deeds in public more than bad ones. That is upright person. And then 30 days are completed, and yet no one sees the moon of Eid al-Fitr, even though the sky is clear. So do they fast another day, or do they celebrate Eid al-Fitr? Someone in the madhab maintain that they are to break their fast and celebrate Eid as held in the Darya. However, others maintain that they are to remain fasting, given that the moon was not seen in a clear sky, which indicates their mistake. So that is why, uh, from this we can understand it's very important, because announcing Ramadan, tomorrow is Ramadan. Okay, what is your proof? Where is the dalil? What's your dalil? How do you know? So announcing Ramadan doesn't come like out of the joke. So that is why all these rules are important to know. If you don't know these rules, so then do not announce about Ramadan, because you don't know the importance of that. So it's not like joke. Oh, I'm coming. Just it's Ramadan. Qadi, Imam, judge. I saw the moon. What you saw it? How you saw it? So must be the aim. So they are checking, like what we'll call it in these days, checking background. Who is that person? So that is why they have some condition in those people who are announcing or who are telling that they saw the moon, or so checking background. Who are those people? That are joking, or they're just coming to create fitna, or so it must know. Or do they know about the rules and the regulations and so on? So it's very very important. وهلال الأضحى كالفطر, and the moon of the Eid al-Adha takes the same ruling as Eid al-Fitr. So for example, you can say Ramadan, no obstruction. Okay, it's clear. There must be a large gathering to sight the moon. That's number one. Ramadan with obstruction, you cannot see. It's not, there is a cloud, there is a dust, something is preventing you from seeing the moon. One upright person with no shahada or commission, or one whose situation is unknown, but it is not evident that he is a wrongdoer. Okay. And then about the Eid al-Fitr, no obstruction, and Eid al-Adha, the sky is clear. There must be a large gathering to sight the moon. Clear. Number two, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, but the sky is not clear. There is a dust, there is a cloud. Okay. So it is conditional to be from two free men with shahada, or one free man plus two free women with shahada. That's how we know about. But let me tell you something to make it easy and clear. All this chapter we finish in one sentence. Okay, We don't need to calculate. We don't to climb up and see the moon. Either it's clear, unclear. We don't care. We know the month at the beginning of the Ramadan. We are living in this century that we are sure about sighting the moon and calculation astronomical, so everything is okay. We can, as a Muslim ummah, to fast in all of us in same day, celebrate all of us in one day, not in same city, different. We have couple Ramadans. I start today or tomorrow, the others after tomorrow. Same thing for the Eid. I celebrate today or tomorrow, and the others after tomorrow. All these are unaccepted according to our situation today, that we are able to calculate correctly. And when somebody sees the moon at the end of the world, all of us, we have to fast. And if we see the moon, the others are obliged to celebrate the Eid al-Adha or Eid al-Fitr. So it is simple as that, but because of things that's happening in their head, and everybody is sheikh, and everybody do his calculation, and everybody creates the fitna, and that's how it is in these days. ثبوت بقية الأهلة. So how do we establish the remainder of the month, the rest of them? ويشترط لبقية الأهلة شهادة رجلين عدلين أو وحرتين غير محدودين في قذف. It is conditional in establishing the remainder of the month, the testimony of two upright men, or one man, one free man, and two free women. And these individuals must not have previously been punished for making false accusations of a sexual intercourse against others. So this judgment applies when there is an obstruction in the sky. For if there is no obstruction in the sky, a large gathering is required. Again, we don't need this in these days. So we know the beginning of every month, Ramadan, and all the lunar month. حكم اختلاف المطالع, the ruling of seeing the moon from different place. وإذا ثبت في مطلع قطري لزم سائر الناس في ظاهر المذهب وعليه الفتوى وأكثر من الشيخ. والحمد لله, we can include this in our time. If the sighting of the moon is confirmed in a region, it is necessary upon all the people in all the other regions and to adhere to this sighting, and they must fast accordingly. This is the most evident view in the madhab, and the fatwa issued is in accordance with this view, and one in which the majority of the scholars have maintained. We can apply this fatwa upon our time because we know 13th is beginning of month of Ramadan. We know the end of Ramadan. No need for discussion, for disagreement, and all this disunity and all the things that happen between. We know beginning there is no need. We just apply this fatwa as Imam says, and that's all. Peaceful of the mind. We know the beginning and the end. You don't think about all these disagreements. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to understand and to have mercy upon us and to unite us in these days. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.